The moment his chair creaked and the weight of another human being pressed suddenly, impossibly, onto his lap, Daniel's heart slammed so hard he thought the whole office must hear it. Fear shot through him first, then shame, then a confusion so sharp it stole his breath. In that single frozen second, with the future of his job, his dignity, and his child's survival hanging by a thread, Daniel realized how fragile his life truly was, and how one unexpected moment could unravel or redeem everything he had fought for. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet strength of people who keep going even when life keeps knocking them down, take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. Daniel had never planned to become a single father. No one does. Life simply arrived one night with flashing red and blue lights, rain slicking the highway, and a phone call that split his world in half. His wife Mara was gone, leaving behind silence, unanswered questions, and a 3-year-old boy named Noah, who still waited at the door every evening expecting his mother to come home. Daniel learned quickly that grief doesn't pause for bills, and sorrow doesn't excuse missed rent. Each morning he woke before dawn, his body heavy with exhaustion, his chest tight with loss, and his mind already counting hours until he could pick Noah up from daycare. He became both parents overnight, stumbling through bedtime stories with a cracked voice, learning how to braid hair from shaky YouTube videos, and whispering apologies into the dark when he thought his son was asleep. The job at the corporate office was never his dream, but it was stable, and stability had become sacred. The building itself felt cold and impersonal, all glass walls and polished floors that reflected a version of Daniel he barely recognized anymore. Pressed. Shirt hiding sleepless nights, polite smiles masking constant fear. His boss, Evelyn Harper, was known throughout the company as untouchable. Sharp-minded, impeccably dressed, and emotionally distant, she was the kind of leader people respected but never approached. To Daniel, she was a looming presence, a reminder that one mistake could send his carefully balanced life crashing down. Most days, Daniel kept his head down. He arrived early, left late, and volunteered for tasks no one else wanted. His coworkers noticed his dedication, but they didn't see the real reason behind it. Noah's lunchbox sitting empty at home would be his fault if he failed. Every spreadsheet, every email, every meeting felt like a test he couldn't afford to fail. When daycare called to say Noah was sick, Daniel's hands would shake as he asked for permission to leave early, terrified that compassion would someday run out. Evelyn noticed him long before he realized it. She saw the way he flinched when his phone buzzed, the exhaustion etched into his face during late meetings, the quiet determination that didn't seek praise. To her, Daniel was a mystery, a man who worked as if something precious depended on it. Still, she kept her distance. Her own past had taught her that getting close blurred lines and invited pain. Leadership, she believed, required walls. The day everything changed began like any other, with Daniel already running on too little sleep and too much worry. The office buzzed with tension as an important presentation loomed, one that could secure a major contract. Evelyn insisted on reviewing final details personally. The conference room was crowded, chairs pulled close, people standing along the walls. Daniel ended up seated near the end of the table, laptop balanced on his knees, notes scattered in his mind. Then chaos arrived quietly. A maintenance issue caused several chairs to be removed earlier, and in the rush to accommodate everyone, no one noticed the imbalance. As Evelyn entered, distracted and mid-thought, she moved to sit without looking. The chair beneath her wasn't there. Gravity took over, and in a surreal twist of fate, she landed squarely on Daniel's lap. The room fell into stunned silence. Daniel froze, his mind screaming as heat flooded his face. Fear wasn't just embarrassment. It was the terror of misinterpretation, of accusations, of losing everything over something he didn't cause. Evelyn stiffened instantly, her composure cracking for the first time anyone had ever seen. She sprang up, apologies spilling out as gasps and murmurs rippled through the room. To the outside world, it was an awkward accident, quickly smoothed over. But for Daniel, the damage felt deeper. He couldn't focus for the rest of the meeting. His heart raced, his thoughts spiraled, and every glance from a coworker felt like judgment. By the time he returned to his desk, he was convinced his job was over. Evelyn retreated to her office, shaken in a way she hadn't expected. The incident embarrassed her, but more than that, it unsettled something buried. When she looked into Daniel's eyes during those few seconds, she didn't see opportunism or shock alone. She saw raw fear, the kind that comes from having too much to lose. It reminded her of herself years ago, before ambition hardened her edges, when she was caring for a dying parent while trying to prove her worth in a world that never waited. Instead of calling human resources, Evelyn did something she rarely did. She asked Daniel to come to her office. The walk down the hallway felt like a march to execution. Daniel rehearsed apologies, explanations, and contingency plans all at once. When he entered, he stood stiffly, hands clasped, eyes lowered. Evelyn surprised him by speaking gently. She acknowledged the accident plainly, took responsibility, and then asked a question no boss had ever asked him before: how he was really doing. The dam broke slowly. Daniel didn't intend to share his life, but exhaustion loosened his guard. He spoke of Noah, of sleepless nights, of fear wrapped in every paycheck. He admitted how hard it was to keep showing up, how close he always felt to failing. Evelyn listened without interrupting, her expression softening with every word. That conversation became a turning point neither of them expected. Evelyn saw beyond the employee file to the man fighting quietly every day. Daniel, for the first time in years, felt seen without being judged. Trust began as something fragile, almost invisible, but it grew in the weeks that followed. Evelyn adjusted Daniel's schedule discreetly, allowing flexible hours and remote work when Noah was sick. She connected him with company resources he never knew existed. More importantly, she challenged him professionally, encouraging him to step into roles he had avoided out of fear. Daniel's confidence grew slowly, fueled not by pity but by genuine belief in his abilities. At home, Noah noticed the change before anyone else. His father smiled more, laughed more, and stopped apologizing so much. Bedtime stories felt warmer. The weight in the air lifted just enough for hope to slip in. Daniel realized that accepting help didn't make him weak, it made him human. As months passed, the memory of that awkward incident faded into something else entirely, a symbol of how unexpected moments could open doors instead of closing them. Evelyn, too, changed. She became a leader who listened more, who remembered that strength didn't require distance. In helping Daniel, she healed parts of herself she had long ignored. Near the end of the year, Daniel was promoted, not out of sympathy but because he earned it. On the day he signed the paperwork, he thought of how close he had come to losing everything over fear. Instead, trust had given him a future. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can appear in the most unexpected moments, please take a second to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement keeps these stories alive. Before the final moments fade, we have a special request for you. Comment the word hope below if you believe that even the most uncomfortable moments can lead to second chances. Daniel still carried grief, and Evelyn still carried scars, but they learned that fear didn't have to define them. Sometimes, life places us in impossible situations not to break us, but to remind us that trust, compassion, and humanity can change everything often when we least expect it.